Taxing times for the market. Latha, well, you're with us to explain what exactly the market is possibly going through in terms of a psyche when it comes to this tax issue. Despite clarifications coming in, it seems as though the market is really fearing something.
Well, it does appear, and you must remember the market was already in a funk. And the expectation or the, the premise with which the market is working is that demonetization was attempted for a redistribution of income. If that didn't work, the PM has other aces up his sleeve. Otherwise, why would he make a statement, those who have made money from markets must contribute for the poor or for the development of the country? If it is not long-term capital gains, there are other ways in which he can get to that money made from markets. One of them could be dividend could be taxed. That's a fear. If you remember, even last time, those who are, at the moment, dividend distribution is taxed at the hand of the companies. When you and I get dividend, many of them don't even declare it properly. The government had introduced an income tax last time of over 10 lakh dividend should be taxed. But now this could be more widely and thoroughly applied. And therefore, that is a possibility. It's not long-term capital, but it could be other ways of taxing stock market gains. Also, under Mauritius Treaty and the Singapore treaties, some grandfathering was still expected. It's quite possible that those could be shut. That is one fear that the markets expect. And then generally, anti-avoidance tax becomes a principle from April 1. Okay. That could be applied to other areas like, dividend stripping or bonus stripping. The point is the markets are expecting that the Prime Minister will try every bit to ensure that those who are making outsized gains, which could be foreigners or promoters, for instance, who pays the highest dividend? Say Hindustan Unilever or Colgate or, P&G. They're all their multinational parent takes away a dividend. So more of that could be brought in. We don't know, but the point is outsized gains could be taxed and the market is fearing that. The other set of fears actually started off Thursday evening, and Surabhi and Prashant had discussed it at length on Friday as well. This is a CBDT clarification on indirect transfer provisions. That is, if a fund owns more than 50% of its assets in India, even if it is located abroad, and that fund is owned more than 5% by one investor, then that investor, when he buys and sells, will become eligible for short-term and long-term capital gains in India. Basically, it's an indirect transfer of an Indian asset on which he is profiting, and therefore he will have to pay tax. Now, it is slowly sinking in that all private equity funds can be in this ambit, and a whole host of other FIIs who have probably subsidiaries which own 100% of their interest is focused on India. Then what happens to the mother fund? That mother fund may also have to pay because, it becomes more than a 5% beneficiary of the sub fund. So there are all these legal explanations which experts are now waking up to. So the market is uncertain about the penumbra of applicability of these explanations. Uncertainty always means selling.
Yes, absolutely. But Latha, we're managing to hold at 7,900 at this point. We've not decisively broken that level. Technically, do you think that we're more vulnerable?
Well, I spoke to some people and Mangalam did some arithmetic for me. We've broken that 7920, which is the Brexit deal. That itself is psychologically important. But now a lot of calls are getting sold at that 7,900 strike. They cost about 55 rupees. So you would expect that the next big level would be 7845 that the market is looking for. But these are, lines in the sand. It takes very little time for 7,900 to be given up and people starting to write, at lower calls. Nobody's writing puts. A put seller is the one who has confidence that the market will not fall below it. But look at the put call ratio. It is 0.8. So that itself is indicating that number of puts are so much more, are so scared. And that is perhaps one reason why the market is fearful, that support is not coming for the market at lower levels.